India's most significantly progressive music festival.
We really wish that NH7 carries on.
The vibe, it was just so happy.
A lot of buzz, a lot of people there, so it really felt like a festival for a change, you know.
You can see it's like the birth of alternative music.
You are back to being a simian.
It's the first real festival in terms of concept as well as in terms of scale that we've had in India.
We're on the cusp of a revolution in Indian independent music, and this is really at the heart of it.
You don't wait till the night.
So I think we first came up with the whole idea for this festival about 18 months back with my partners in UK over a conversation about doing an indie independent music festival in India.
And over the last 18 months together, the three of us have been working on getting this event together.
यीशु अल्लाह और कृष्णा कौन भगवान है अपना यीशु अल्लाह और कृष्णा कौन भगवान है अपना फूल पे फूल चढ़ा दे दिए पे दिए जला दे.
It's an auspicious day, the journey to the NH7 Weekender Festival, because my 1-year-old son Roiman has just started walking around the same time as the NH7 Festival. So, you know, full power. Though of course the journey for me is made more special by the fact that what is available on the road here is King's Lonavala Chikki, only permitted flavors.
We feel like it is a festival that we are going there and playing. We almost feel like part of the host team, hosting many other bands.
For unity!
My name is Steve Chandra Savli, aka Chandra Sonic. I've been with Asian Dub Foundation since the beginning, since 1994. This is our first trip as a band to India.
I'm amazed that we're finally here.
India!
I will beat your hit, I am the number one hero. Reason alone, and with my head held high. I will only rest when the colors in the best. No longer reach the sky when the sound of
The detailing and everything we've gotten into, I think that's how every concert in India should happen, because that makes an experience for the fan and the artist incredible. And if this entire scene kind of needs to get somewhere, that's the only thing you need. Fans need to have a good time and artists need to have a good time. Everything else kind of comes together really well.
We took a rickshaw around Pune first. As soon as we got here, just went everywhere. It was a bit like, and then on our hotel, like there's like a good view from the top, and we watched the sun come up.
We really kicked about, sharing the green room with Indian Ocean, Susheela Raman and us, like amazing artists come together.
Sharing the green room with Indian Ocean.
That's a big scene for us.
It's, I think, great fun. We'll get to meet some new guys and new people who we haven't met and heard.
Even now, without people around, it just feels like a nice place to be in. I like the idea of at least putting out mattresses.
The way we are sitting there.
Yeah, no, it's great.
But there's something very magical about Pune. The weather is beautiful. It's very, very relaxed. It's so green.
Well, I'm at the bar and I'm having fun. Drinks and friends abound. I'd like to see them all here tomorrow for another round. Who's gonna drive me home when I made drinks down?
I much preferred that it was in Pune. It was actually really nice to have that break from Bombay, to not have to worry about anything else, to just wake up in the morning and be like, okay, these are the bands I'm going to see today, and go and do that. eat lunch in the middle and then, take a little break and then go and see a couple more bands. And we just did nothing else.
This actually reminds me a bit of Coachella Festival in California. Very beautiful outdoor stages. But the vibe, I guess, is a little more Glastonbury. People a little more, they love each other, they're like hanging out, it's very relaxed.
I don't wanna drive.
I know it's an Indian Woodstock. Lots of Indian bands are playing, so it's probably a great opportunity to know most of the bands. If somebody hasn't heard of a particular band, he or she should come here so that he might know about this band.
It's awesome that we have this festival. I mean, it's so mind-blowing. We just want to be everywhere at the same time.
People come in and they get a vibe. There's a vibe to a festival. You come in and you see a color, you see an installation, you see people dressed a certain way, and you suddenly get into a different zone.
कोशिश पे कोशिश किए जा जितनी अंगड़ाई लिए जा टूट जाओगी मेरे बिना तो पड़ेगा वापस आना ओ मेरी जान जाना हूँ मैं यूं शायराना रू बिरू रू बिरू रू बिरू रू बिरू रू बिरू रू बिरू get a chance to say you that I love you. I find it really hard to say, hey, I love you. I never get a chance to say you that I love you. I find it really hard to say, hey, I love you.
This is the Bacardi Black Rock Arena. We've got 7-8 very loud bands for tonight. You don't really have a full day dedicated to only metal bands in a festival. There have been smaller attempts at it, but nothing on this level.
Weekender, day one was like, I don't know, it was brotherhood for me because I knew every band that played there. It was so cool to have a separate stage which was so big and so well decorated for a metal gig.
The way it's gone so far, we have nothing to worry about, so it's just like 100% concentration on making sure that our set is tight and we kick ass on stage, and that's what we plan to do.
You know who you are, but we know who you are.
NH7 needs to happen for like a long time, like JIR, like Independence Rock has been happening. We really hope that this happens every year because we'd love to come back and do this every year, twice a year if possible.
Big mosh pit right in the center over here. It was awesome fun, so we really had a nice time.
This is like the mosh pit. Like I fell a number of times.
Again?
Yeah, this one. Number 1. And this I fell number 2. And this I don't know. I don't remember. So yeah, the moshing was like very good.
I think Indian kids, are sort of conformed by society. India is a very orthodox society by default. So I think kids need a rebellion, and metal provides them with that outlet. Doesn't matter if my dad is forcing me to get married to XYZ or my mom is like, you have to become a doctor. For this little time, my music gives me an escape from all that.
Demonic Resurrection would have probably been the first bands for a fan who can wear his love for the music on his head, on his back, on his wrist, probably in his shoes. He pushed an audience to claim its love for the genre and its devotion to it. because metalheads are very devoted to being metalheads, and they really rep it everywhere they go.
Every single band that's played tonight is going to come on stage. Come on! Noiseware, Hilari, Demonic Resurrection, Undying INC. Make it nice and real.
The whole brotherhood concept with metal exists everywhere in the world. It exists everywhere, where you're friends just because you both listen to the same form of music.
Kind of playing here with a whole bunch of rockers, so I want to leave some electronic music in the rockers' head. That's what I want. That's my only motive of playing here. I got into Pune and I just felt the vibe because I was in the cab and picked up the newspaper and there was a big article about the festival. I was like, excellent, that's good. Walked into the hotel and there's a whole bunch of people all about NH7 and NH7. I was like, nice. So I mean, we've been to a lot of festivals around the world and the vibe of the festival is in the city, and I think the city is kind of beaming with it.
In Europe, there are 10,000 festivals like this. In India, we have 0. And this is the first. That's why it's important. Secondly, there's no way any rock metalhead would go to an electronic music festival in this country. So, in this festival, what happens is where you have 5 different stages, you also have the metalheads coming to the electronic stage for a bit. They might get excited. They might get introduced to a new sound.
We used to all party, hang out at the same places, and then we just like made a connection because we all listened to the same kind of music. So we just thought, why not do something with the music we love together?
What a music festival is, it's more than about the bands that are performing. It's about the vibe, it's about the atmosphere. It's about being able to go from one genre of music to another whenever you like.
People think it's very uncool if you sing in Hindi. Hindi music can be all wonderful because you can incorporate elements. It's just great for me to see that there are so many young musicians that are coming up that are breaking that mold of Bollywood.
We just thought I'd come and see what the bands are like because most of them we haven't heard of before because they're all mostly Indian, but they're really, really good. Yeah. Really enjoying it.
Having a variety of stages, you've got lots of other stages for people who might never have heard a kind of band to go and check them out and tune into that genre of music.
Today I'm looking forward to hearing Pentagram.
BHAYANAK, MAUT.
Raghu, Dixit, because they bring so much love on the stage.
Asian Dub Foundation, of course.
SWARATMA. Undying INC. And Zero, of course.
Zero.
Magic numbers.
Indian Ocean.
Susheela Raman.
Susheela Raman.
Susheela Raman.
Susheela Raman.
Susheela Raman, who I think is heavy metal as much as anything else. He just kicks ass on stage.
There's a real sense of excitement here.
and it's just been amazing to be part of it. It's something for the youth, it's something new, and it's something which is away from the mainstream.
Rising up from the deep sunken wreck, down under thunder waves, poised to break, and you're right at the brink. Can you raise up your hands, higher, higher, raise up your hands, higher, higher, raise up your hands, higher, higher, raise.
Everyone played. There was a kind of informal jam session. It was like a spontaneous thing that happened with everyone who was sitting around after playing, and that was really magical. That's really what festivals are about, those sort of spontaneous things that happen, which you could never anticipate, you know. And that happened, so that's proof of the pudding.
Today we saw the whole of the 4-star hotel filled with metal heads, and being amongst them, it's a different vibe. Just coming together for music is an amazing cause.
We're all good buddies, we're very good buddies, and it's always it's a riot when we're together, so it's good fun, man.
We haven't really looked at new acts or old acts, but there's been a philosophy of how we've chosen the acts. Acts who've done something incredibly well for the scene. That's where a Parikrama and Indian Ocean comes in. Acts who are doing something really cutting edge. It's just about what kind of music they're playing and what they really stand for.
Suratha was so good. Suratha was amazing. I've never heard them before, but they were great.
You know, in order to make music that's honest, we can't neglect our roots. And it's great that we take a lot of influence from abroad, but actually to become true to ourselves, we have to find out what is Indian as well. And as soon as people really kind of start to do that, I think that's going to be the future.
We had heard a lot about Scribe, especially because Vishwesh played with us at Hard Rock Mumbai just 2 days back, and hopefully he'll collaborate with us tonight also.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for somebody completely unexpected. Vishwesh K of Mumbai-based metalcore band Scribe.
Everybody put your hands up. Put your hands up. Just one hand. Show me your armpits. Just one hand, right? Now do this. Let's do this, right? This song is about paradise on earth, and the only way that can happen is if we come together. You took your first step right now. One man, one chance, just to know that we can. Yellow, black, brown, white, all we reach with the 10 at the end. It's you and me, nothing's better than to be more than a nation, to be more than a man. We get trouble, the beat in the cover by terror. We make it easy.
What I really loved is showcasing international talent along with the national talent that's of a certain caliber.
MAUT, RSS, NH7 Weekender, Bacardi, lovely food, lovely people, lovely music. Yeah, man.
I think in India, especially at the moment, people who love metal also love electronic music, people who love electronic music also love folk music. And this is a festival that literally has something for everybody. So.
It's from British. It's a type of music that we call bassline. This is bassline music. I tried to make you see that you don't want to fight. All you care about is the bassline. Oh my goodness! Oh, Pune! Let's do this! Come on! do this.
Everyone's so up for listening to new music here. I think often you go to places where sometimes people are a bit too kind of spoilt for choice and they just expect to have like good music all the time. And it's like really good to get into a crowd of people that have got 50 bands to listen to, more, and they're still having a good time to every single one. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Good vibes out there.
Stay here for good, man. That's it. Kerala, and I live down there.
But I definitely do not need heels like
I've got a cold and a cough, and it's my 7th show in 7 days. It feels good.
I did things that were stupid. Okay, I did things out of anger. Okay, when you asked me a question. Okay, I fucked up on the answer. This is for my people. 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 Did you bring your voice up? This is for my people. This is for my people. This is for my people.
I didn't go with any expectations, like okay cool, I'll just go listen to a couple of bands but when I went there, my jaw just dropped. The enormity of everything, how everyone was just there for the music, it was just a different experience altogether.
I mean, I've heard there like crazy amount of stages that side. I've only been here, but I think it's a really cool initiative because they're bringing all these genres, independent music of India. You know, every single. I mean, you've got the D&B guys, you've got the metal guys, you've got the rock guys, you've got some house techno guys, you've got all these guys coming in to one festival, and I don't think that's been done before.
I think Indian Ocean, I would absolutely love the whole world to tune into what Indian Ocean are doing. I think that stuff should be on stages around the world. South America, Africa, everyone should hear that.
Festival would start at 2 o'clock, which means you can wake up late, you can nurse your hangover, you can have your breakfast, and then you'll be in time for the first band.
Bands that, you know, sitting around and playing the guitar and singing, different people from different bands were just there, so didn't stop.
Because usually when you have music festivals, they suddenly start in the morning and you probably partied the previous night, so you wake up really late.
I know that very well. Age and persuasion, no discrimination. I love how they seem to please us. I wanna taste them Puerto Rican pecan peanut butter cups like Reese's Pieces. Cause I think you a superstar. With an ass like that, you gotta blue. Before you make it big, well, there's just one thing that I gotta know.
Anything that is not Bollywood is independent music, and every sort of independent music survives in its own little pocket. In order for you to make that pocket larger, you have to try and let the metal guy who loves listening to, let's say, Scribe, have an opportunity to listen to Asian Dub Foundation. Or somebody who likes listening to Indian Ocean to have a visit of a SHAA'IR and Funk or a medieval Pandits.
It's great to see it come together in this organized way, because what happens is here we have one mainstream, and that's like overpoweringly loud. It takes over everything. All collective consciousness is taken over by Bollywood, right? So this is the alternate to that.
The electronic scene in India now has become a big deal. Earlier, actually at the time when we guys started, back in 98, 99, there would be amongst only few people doing it.
The kind of people that live in the cities like Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, they are very high energy. They love high energy music.
This thing is only going to grow. The audience is there. The sponsors are there because they can see the value of this, that, it's not only that only pure pop or bhangra or Bollywood works. This music does work and there's an audience to it. So I think it's just going to mushroom into something gigantic.
For me to see all those gadgets on stage and understand the production that goes into making a dance song, that completely interested me and made me a student suddenly, and I think that is a good thing for musicians itself.
Pune! Watch me, baby. Watch me. Carefully. You in the red shirt. Come on. Here we go. Fly!
I was in the front row for the Raghu Dixit project, they're not a small band, but they're not as well known as they should be. Raghu deserves to be heard by every Indian.
What I used to feel when I used to go to music festivals abroad, and it used to be damn pissing off because you have a massive act playing here, which you really want to see because they're so huge and you want to kind of tick that box that I've seen this act. And there were 4 other acts who I truly love, playing in other smaller stages, and you can't see them all. So you just try and really scramble from one stage to another and try what you can do. And that's a beautiful problem to have, because it's a conversation point, saying that I had to choose between Parikrama, Ravi Dixit project and Pentagram playing at the same time.
Basically, you had to choose between one artist or the other because they were playing at different stages. So it was fun because you had this whole itinerary chalked out throughout the day.
The fact that you have to move around from event to event also made it interesting, because on the way you'd meet like 10 people you'd say hello to and then probably go to the next venue and then probably eat something and then come, and of course, that's the fun about it, you're just moving around.
Take my hand, hold me close and leave the past behind and walk on in the future, and take my hand and hold me close.
at no point were you really confused about where you wanted to be. You knew that you wanted to kind of, at that sunset magic hour, you wanted to be at that Dewarists stage and start it out right. And maybe before that, in the heat and in the afternoon, you kind of wanted to go to the Bacardi stage and just, mosh pit it out. And after that, it was like, okay, two options. Either you go back to the Bacardi stage or you go to Eristoff where the electronica was happening. So I think the way they had planned it out was superb.
Clarabella, she's the money maker, she's a Clarabella, she's just getting it to her world. Clarabella, she's the money maker, she's an Indecision girl.
It was nice for us because we had a band like Magic Numbers come down, which is kind of like the same music that we play, which is good because normally you get like other bands with a lot of other genres of music like DJs and metal bands and stuff. But yeah, this time it was nice because there was something for everybody, so that was great.
What she got to when it all breaks down, taking it high through this lonely town. What she got to when she turns around, says you never ever thought that you'd be missing around. When you dance with the woman who waits, how's it gonna feel until I get you? How'd you gonna feel when she turns around? Says you're broken another heart that was broken down. It's a crying shame with the love you've made. It's a cross that you bear when it's cold. Why don't you leave me alone? Alright, you guys, sing with Michelle and Andrew, the girls.
We've always wanted to come and play here, so when the opportunity came, we were like, very excited.
Yeah.
Surprised that a few people were singing along and knowing some of the songs. So you never know when you turn up somewhere you've never been before. So I was really, moved.
You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome.
Just see you move around there. It's quite educational.
Yeah, the Magic Numbers were awesome.
We can't believe you met the Magic Numbers.
Woo!
There's three of you.
No, there's one.
Okay.
Fourth guy's lost. He's
Okay, cool.
There's always
he is going to be depressed for the rest of his life.
There's always one member that goes missing.
Yeah, I'm sure the same. He's the bass guy because she's a rock star.
With one set of siblings, you have a couple of fights. With two sets, you're always fighting.
I guess we're on the same page then. Yeah,
you guys always are. But I couldn't imagine being not being in a band with my sister and my friends like Angela and Sean. We've all known each other for years. So that's really cool. That's some brother.
First time we saw her on stage.
Nice
to meet you.
We watched the whole show. I mean, we sang the songs and
dancing.
Yeah, and we didn't know we were gonna meet them, and then thanks to the NH7 crew, which was awesome, we got to meet them, and then need to be festivals like this. I mean, in our country, a lot more. I mean, the turnout was insane. This is what our country was waiting for.
I feel that India was hungry for such a festival because the turnout's phenomenal. I can't wait to see what happens next year.
Yeah.
It's going to be too massive.
Yeah.
We're going to have to build an extra country.
Been to top 5 for sure, like world over. It was so well organized. It's so good to see so many of our friends in different bands come together and play one festival. It was kind of like a dream of mine.
Definitely a dream.
Yeah, so it's good. It came together perfectly, beautifully.
This is the
Why don't I push this?
Bacardi NH7 Weekender in numbers, it's about 700 days without sleep. And by the end count of it, I remember we had about 400, just the crew side of it. Which is why we knew the festival will never be empty, because there's 400 of us. You know?
We had booked out, I think, around 5 hotels around the venue itself. At times we had this humongous bus that was taking 2 bands, 3 bands together. So there's this whole bus of musicians traveling.
I have another suggestion.
We had 7 full bars running at the NH7 Weekender. It's kind of a first for any music festival in India.
There was alcohol, there were bars everywhere, there was no pushing and shoving at all. Everything was easily available, everything was calm.
When you start planning about audience numbers, our experience kind of really comes in handy, because you can't trust people to show up at a concert. You can plan everything really well, you can spend as much money advertising, no one might show up, and you can do a gig in 24 hours time and 1,000 people might show up. The idea was to do the best festival in terms of production and artists being happy, all of that, and whoever kind of came in, they needed to have the best experience.
I'm unfortunately not here tomorrow, and there are a couple of really cool bands who are playing tomorrow. Zero, I wanted to hear them really badly, but unfortunately not. The thing is with us traveling musicians is that you're here one day and then you got to get out the next day. So
Zero's kind of been a band that's written really nice pop rock songs and really carried the crowd with them wherever they went.
Zero is more family than band really.
The fight to kind of play original music, these guys really stood alongside us through most of that.
Zero coming together means we knew we were going to have a party. We did a lot of food, we'd have a lot of fun, and we'd make some noise.
A lot of first timers obviously got their first taste of Zero, but a lot of guys had come down to NH7 Weekender just to watch Zero. I know that for a fact. The fact that these guys can, get together after months of not being together and just pull out magic just like that, I think that's amazing.
There was a point earlier this year where there was a piece in the Tehelka which totally dismissed the Indian music scene, said that there's nothing really happening, media is just hyping it all up.
But off late there has been a change, because this community of people that listens to independent music is a growing population. It just got cemented by the fact that the Bacardi NH7 Weekender was such an event.
I'll sit down, drink a beer.
We got a lot of journalists to come down, and so by the time the papers came out on Sunday, they had all kind of experienced it, felt it, and we got some great pieces where people, I think, largely everyone's just gushing, almost I think all our journalists are just gushing because it was such an experience.
One thing that I constantly heard was that this is on par with any international festival. And when I interviewed Asian Dub Foundation and the Magic Numbers and REVEREND Sound System, all had the same thing to say, which is essentially this is just like how it is. Whether it was the vibe or whether it was the production, I mean, that was the one sort of refrain that you heard from everyone.
We just made a real attempt to kind of tell people you have to be here. It's the first year, it's something that you have to experience.
I think the festival proved that there are so many bands, that really work hard, that are very good, and here's the place to sort of show them off.
Because this thing happened in Pune, I think a lot of people maybe didn't write about it initially, but then I think they just heard, because the word of mouth for this was so strong that you had everybody telling people and people landing up on Saturday and Sunday because they heard about it from friends, and then it sort of grew while it was happening.
On the day 2, we did this Diwali bumper offer kind of a thing, in terms of if you already have a wristband, you can pretty much walk into the box office and get another wristband.
Vijay Nair from OML, he just ran backstage to the Duos stage, which is what I was handling, and he said, "Bro, I have a question. And he said, I said, yeah, tell me what. He's like, I want to somehow give people free passes. I said, that's just a dumb idea. We need the money.
This fact will never change, that you will start listening to music or really following music because of your friends, because it's a community thing. And these are the people who are your evangelists. You know, they go and they convert people. These are the people who only talk about music. They tweet about what's playing. They share videos on their Facebook, and they're obsessed with music. And that free wristband was really about them.
What I think this festival really symbolized was the fact that over the past 5 years, there's so many politically Indian indie bands that have come up on the scene. It's sort of now saying that, you know, you can do this as a long-term thing. I think that's like the biggest achievement of Bacardi NH7 Weekender.
When our manager has to tell any prospective client who we are, we were at NH7.
I discovered a lot of new bands at NH7.
I saw Reverend Sound System for the first time. The Magic Number I saw for the first time. And Airport was a really nice band that I just discovered, a Hindi band, which I just happened to be at the Dewarists stage.
I think there are a lot of people there who didn't even, who didn't know most of the bands that performed there, Indian bands that performed there, and for them, you know, it was a big wake-up call that there's so much music happening in India.
I think it's given you an opportunity to see all those bands. You always see them on a schedule at playing somewhere in your city, but you really have to work to figuring out the time. And now you have 3 days and pretty much the entire. It's like that seafood platter you get at Burritos. It's like an indie platter with 1 hour of each band.
Final like ADF, 10,000 people. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. It's hysteric.
One set that I think everybody is going to remember at the festival is going to be that Asian Dub Foundation set at the Eristoff, you know. Need a lover's rebel strategy just to keep myself alive. Too many ideas buzzing around inside my brain. Living the history of now. And I'm feeling like there's nothing left that I can really explain. Living the history of now.
I don't think we would have wanted anyone else to close this festival. It was such a beautiful performance.
And we've got ADF going live right now.
What's my crack? 1, 2, 3, India, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm in picture here, I am the number one here. Risen alone and with my head held high. I will only rest when the colors in the best. No longer reach the sky. When the sound of the sword of the oppressor no longer rings in battle. Hear my war cry.
Asian Dub Foundation was just, they were overpoweringly brilliant.
It was stellar. The performance was just, the sound was there. I don't think there was a single person who was not mid-air at some point at that show. They got everybody on their feet and it was just a stunning performance.
I know people who have come from Delhi, there were friends of mine who came from Kashmir just to your Asian Dub Foundation because they've been such big fans. They're like, dude, I don't care, man. I've lost a lot of money, but this is the best experience ever.
Because at first, like the people at the front were like, we got the most energy from them, and the people at the back weren't really feeling it. But towards the end of it, we just from the front to the back, it gives us energy to carry on.
Bacardi NH7 Weekender, number 1, 2010. I think it's the best festival that has happened in India for a very, very long time. And I'm sure it is going to continue being just that.
NH7 was like a breath of fresh air, you know, like 3 days of just unbelievable music at a venue that was just great, and all 3 stages were close by and the vibe was just fantastic. And I think that the scene has grown into a place where you can have a festival like that and people will turn up and people will, enjoy the music.
How you doing, Pune?
The fact that it's actually happening here is such a big deal. I think India definitely needs more festivals, and the Bacardi NH7 Weekender has really, I think it's shown a lot of people what India is capable of doing.
Are you ready? We want to hear you. We want to feel you. Feel you. Pune, come on. Sing. Fly over, fly over. I can't hear you. Fly over, fly over. Louder.
If this festival works well, which I think it's going to do, I'm sure that the discussion is how we can roll this out to other cities around India and make it more of an event that happens in many different places. And then the more awareness there is of this, the possibilities exist to bring over more UK agents who can then spread the word.
It can only get big. There is no other direction it has right now other than bigger, wider, more reach, more frequency, more places, and more often. As the scene gets more and more competent, the audience claims it, the bands are claiming it, then you have more than a festival, you have a movement.
Fly over, fly over. Step on the gas, sit down the accelerator. Fly over, fly over. Don't wanna get back up, don't wanna get better.
What is the full for NH7?
National Highway 7.
National Highway 7. What is the reason why it's called that? It's long.
Covers the whole of the country.
Shit, we know a little bit of NH7, not bad.
General knowledge, man.
Invisible 20%. I see the race between the guilty and the innocent. Rubbing shoulders with the sister supercars engines.
We wanted our crew to party. We shut the other 2 stages at 9. Entire audience that was there in both the stages landed up at the Eristoff stand. Our entire crew landed up there and had a drink in I don't know how long. We went nuts when ADF played and the crowd went nuts. It was berserk. Fortress Europe, and it was just fantastic. I wouldn't have wished for anybody else to close that festival last year, for sure.
Keep banging on the rules of Fortress Europe. Keep banging on the rules. 2022. You're have to jump higher than that, Pune. We want to rewind and come again. Are you ready? Jump on pressure. Keep banging the rules of Fortress Europe. Keep banging the rules of Fortress Europe. 2022, and you've been on that road, got patrolling the border. 7-8, getting closer and closer on the road. Burning village across the road. You bombed it out, then as we go home. Machine guns on the cliffs of Dover. Heads down, people look out, we're going over. Survive re-entry, last night my government didn't exist. Take me a bit on brutal war, don't be lacking that friend. Choose the core, choosing my head on my shoulder. Total control, just try to cool up. Open the road, get trying to be up. Keep banging the rules of Fortress Europe. Keep keep banging the rules of force and Sheila. Keep banging the rules of force and Sheila. Right. Situation, globalization, no borders. Electric connection, like the fuels for the insurrection. Next generation has no nation. God's purpose in the one solution. Set it tight, strong with the right president. To this confusion. This is the 21st century Exodus. 21st century Exodus. This is the 21st century Exodus. We can take past life minds of an existence. We take off when it goes first. Use the thing and look back of us. Choosing my end on my shoulder. Don't control the side of corner. Open up the get time to the act. Keep banging on the walls of force to shoulder. Keep banging on the walls of force to shoulder.